Welcome to Engaging Recapped. The film begins with a young lady, Natalie Morgan Griffin, driving along the cliffs of San Fernando Valley, 16 miles, 25.75 kilometers, north of Los Angeles, when out of nowhere a rock slide pushes the vehicle, making it fall, and afterward hang at the edge of a cliff. Minutes later, Los Angeles local group of fire department helicopter pilot Chief Raymond Ray Gaines, Dwayne Johnson, and his other colleagues come to rescue the girl trapped in the car. Ray safely rescues the young lady minutes before the vehicle tumbles off the cliff. In Caltech, Dr. Kim Park, William Lee, gets data on minor earthquakes in Falco, Nevada, and shows it to his associate and seismologist Lawrence Hayes, Paul Giamatti. The minor quakes measure 2.0 to 2.6. Hayes is curious about why such minor quakes can happen, even where there are no faults in Nevada. Hayes and Park choose to go to Nevada to find out. While Ray is calling his daughter, Blake Alexandra D'Addario, for an impending trip to San Francisco, he gets divorce papers. As of late, he was divorced from his estranged wife Emma, Carla Gugino, and she is currently with her new boyfriend Daniel Riddick, Ian Grufford. In the meantime, at the Hoover Dam, Park alongside Hayes is currently testing a magnetic pulse of tremor. Unexpectedly, his gadget detects a spike pulse, and then a stronger earthquake triggers. It measures 7.0, the highest ever recorded there. As the dam begins to break, Park struggles to escape, while Hayes tells the people still on the dam to get off. Park then leaves the dam facility, but when he sees a girl scared to run on the breaking dam, he stops to grab her and carry her out. The girl is saved, but Park is pierced by a rod in his right foot. The dam totally disintegrates and Park is killed. The disaster prompts the flooding of towns. The earthquake is the strongest and most destructive ever recorded in Nevada's history. Back in California, Ray shows up at his family's home to make arrangements for their trip. In any case, Ray is called back to work to rescue disaster victims in Nevada. Daniel and Blake drive into San Francisco for a meeting. While Daniel is having a meeting, Blake meets an English guy named Ben Taylor, Hugo Johnstone Burt, having a job interview, and his young brother, Ollie, Art Parkinson. In Caltech, the reporter, Serena, Archie Panjabi, shows up and needs to talk with Hayes about what occurred in Nevada. Hayes expresses that they didn't realize there was any fault line there. He says that they should be able to predict an earthquake. One of his colleagues interrupts Hayes and presents him with data showing the pulse rates detected along the entire San Andreas Fault. The pulse rates are higher than in Nevada. Hayes then clarifies for them why the earthquake set off in Nevada even with no fault line. His hypothesis is to draw a fault line near Nevada, and it connects to the end of the fault boundary. Hayes predicts that the entire San Andreas could trigger. In Los Angeles, Emma is having lunch with Daniel's sister, Susan, in a tall building cafe. After some discussion with Susan, Emma answers a call from Ray in the helicopter on the way for maintenance. Ray apologizes to Emma for what he did the other day. Their telephone discussion is interfered with by the strong earthquake. Emma lets Ray know that they're having an earthquake, and he also notices that the freeway is crumbling. Ray tells Emma to get to the rooftop for rescue. As indicated by the Caltech, the first major earthquake peaked at 8.5 and later at 9.1. Not only in Los Angeles, but the whole of California, and the quake is heading to San Francisco where Blake and Daniel are. While the following damaging tremor hits, the people inside the building panic in terror. Some are harmed. Emma advises Susan to get to the rooftop, yet she goes to the exit and is killed on a disintegrating floor. Emma gets to the rooftop, with the floor and the surrounding structures crumbling around her. Emma manages to recuperate and rises up out of the rubble. At last, Ray saves Emma, and they manage to escape as the surrounding buildings collapse. The entire city is now in complete disarray. In the meantime, in San Francisco, after Ben's interview, borrows Ollie's book to write her number in it for Ben to call her, Blake and Daniel are leaving the building parking garage when the tremor hits. They figure out how to escape, yet the roof collapses, and they become trapped. The debris crushes part of the car, trapping Blake's leg under the driver's seat. Daniel goes to find support. As Daniel calls for help, the debris falls near him and kills a security guard. Daniel flees in fear, leaving Blake trapped and all alone. Nonetheless, Ben and Ollie are trying to save Blake, as the debris above her keeps on squeezing the roof. By using the jack to lift the debris, the driver's seat pushes away, but Blake's leg is still stuck. At last, Ben pops the vehicle tires, bringing down the vehicle, and they rescue her. They then leave the building as the aftershock continues. The trio decides to go to the electronics store to contact Ray. At the store, Blake finds a telephone, and she calls her folks, letting them know that she is fine. Also, she lets them know that Daniel left her. This drives Emma crazy, and she leaves a terrible message on Daniel's voicemail. Ray advises Blake that they will need to get out immediately and go to the Coit Tower as a rendezvous. Ray and Emma quickly head to San Francisco to rescue their daughter. In the meantime, Daniel is walking through the crowd on the road when an abruptly strong earthquake hits. The building over the crowd crumbles down. To save himself, Daniel takes the protected spot of another person, and the victim is swept away by the debris. At the point when Ray and Emma are in transit to the city, the helicopter's engine fizzles, constraining them to make a crash landing into a superstore in Bakersfield. As they attempt to take a vehicle, which is already stolen, the thief aims a gun at Ray. But Ray manages to subdue the perpetrator, and they drive away. With the assistance of Serena, Hayes is able to warn the people through news coverage of a much bigger earthquake about to hit San Francisco. He advises the people of San Francisco to get out now because their lives depend on it. After Ray and Emma get the vehicle, they drive till they meet an old couple who cautions them to stop. It is the now open San Andreas fault, rendering the road impassable. They drive back to the old couple's home. The couple happens to own an airplane which Ray exchanges for the stolen car. Ray and Emma manage to fly the plane to San Francisco. While on the plane, Ray recaps what occurred with their daughter, Mallory, who died in a rafting accident. Ray regrets he could not save his daughter. This is the underlying reason Emma wants a divorce. Then they fly to San Francisco. Blake, Ben, and Ollie stroll through the jam-packed roads to Coit Tower, the agreed meeting place. Nonetheless, it is already engulfed in flames, so they change the plan by going to the highest ground, which is Nob Hill, in order to signal Blake's family. Ray and Emma come to San Francisco, yet they can't set down the plane because the airport has a lot of cracks and scattered planes. Ray and Emma must choose the option to skydive into the stadium, leaving the plane to crash into the Pacific Ocean when it runs out of fuel. Meanwhile, Blake, Ben, and Ollie are strolling through the abandoned road when a strong earthquake hits. The earthquake measures 9.6, the largest recorded in history. Blake and Ollie quickly get to the side of the road. However, Ben goes to the opposite side. The glass shards coming from the structure cuts Ben's leg. The remaining still standing structures are destroyed. The ground ruptures, suspension bridges crumble, and so on. At the same time, Ray manages to tell other people to move to safety on the other side of the stadium as the structure crashes down. After the earthquake, Blake cautiously removes the glass shard from Ben's leg, and afterward, they move to the highest ground. Ray and Emma drive a boat to the city where they see Coit Tower is on fire. Ray realizes that Blake has gone somewhere else. They notice that the water is receding quickly, which means a tsunami is about to hit the city. As the trio receives the tsunami warning from the radio, it is too late for them to head to the highest ground, so the trio quickly heads to Daniel's unfinished building. Ray and Emma, in the boat and numerous different boats, manage to drive into the giant tidal wave. They come to the top not long before the wave crests, though they are almost hit by a cargo ship that is carried along by the tidal wave. Daniel is on the Golden Gate Bridge when the wave strikes. He is squashed by a falling shipping container from the overturned cargo ship. The cargo ship slices the Golden Gate Bridge in half, and the tidal wave continues to race towards the city. Tragically, a large portion of the people on the ground are swept away by water and debris. The trio is now in the structure when the tidal wave hits. Ray and Emma drive the boat through the crushed town searching for Blake. Blake and Ollie see her folks riding in the boat, yet they don't see Blake. Ollie then uses the laser pointer that he got from the hardware store to get Blake's parents' attention. Now parents see them, yet before they can rescue them, the structure begins to sink into the ground. Blake is separated from the two brothers as they make it up to the next floor. Blake is now trapped inside as the water keeps on rising. Ray figures out how to get to his daughter, but now the exits are jammed. Blake then, at that point, appears to have drowned, and Ray struggles to get her body out. As the structure is about to collapse, Emma crashes through the window in the boat, and they quickly get out as the building finally collapses. Once outside, Ray continues to try and then successfully resuscitate Blake. Blake reunited with her loved ones. The two brothers are also rescued. Afterward, the five make it to safety in Marin County. The family, along with Ben and Ollie, watch the sunset on the destroyed and radically altered geography of the San Francisco Bay Area, and they talk about the future. They also see an American flag waving over the now destroyed Golden Gate Bridge. Now I am going to give you the history behind this movie, San Andreas. San Andreas is a 2015 American disaster film directed by Brad Peyton and written by Carlton Cuse, with Andre Fabrizio and Jeremy Passmore receiving story credit. The film stars Dwayne Johnson in the lead role, Carla Gugino, Alexandra Daddario, Ian Grufford, Archie Panjabi and Paul Giamatti. Its plot centers on a massive earthquake caused by the San Andreas Fault, devastating the west coast of the United States. Principal photography of the film started on April 22, 2014, in Queensland, Australia, and wrapped up on July 28 in San Francisco. The film was released worldwide in 2D and 3D on May 29, 2015, and received mixed reviews from critics, praising the visual effects and Johnson and Gugino's performances, but criticizing the plot and characters. It grossed $474 million worldwide. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content like this.